anonymous data.
You will give me an egg.
Yeah, I also see it's anonymous while publicly broadcasting.
No, all the directions. Subscription, we need another egg. No. Yes.
You will give me an
I can't
egg.
tell.
Oh,
Shit.
Oh, chat's going
Chat
nuts.
experience.
Everyone's going
Chat
nuts.
says no.
All right, no.
Everything more knows anything.
All right, no spying.
Maybe knows, yes.
No spying. And I guess I should turn back on the audio.
Maybe.
All right, so I have never played this game before.
It's hard.
It is
I've
hard.
heard that.
At least you're not doing like the Iron Man mode where you just die once and that's it. So
The idea of the game was to make it so that it seemed more realistic, so you don't just infinitely respawn. But I don't think they took the idea of it enough, because a lot of characters play a lot really exactly the same. And we need another egg.
I'm glad the game doesn't tell me what the controls are. It just tells me that there are options for my controls.
you'll be told what the controls
You
are.
will give
as
me
you play
an
the game.
egg.
That's good to know.
It's,
All right.
it does tutorial out the front end a little bit. The most things that will be on the gamepad that will not be shown on screen are basically the map on the controller and your inventory, which is always on the gamepad itself.
Okay. So they should be able to see more or less everything, though, right?
Yeah.
The UI, the main advantage is that there's almost no heads-up display in the game.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one of the advantages to the design philosophy of this, is that this game is just pretty much game. You don't even see a health meter on screen or anything. So it's actually pretty neat design-wise there. Also the standard Revelation quote, because of course you have to quote from Revelation, because
For God
why
shows
not?
no mercy on those who heed not his words. Thus will the end come.
Bible
and
quote.
the world,
I'm gonna put on my
made
monocle
unworthy
here.
in his eyes, will be purified
People
by black
here apparently
angels,
need hygiene.
so that
The
he
teeth are terrible.
may begin anew.
Isn't this the game that takes place in, like, the UK?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're gonna make like jokes about British
Jokes.
people the whole time,
Cheerio.
You might have to.
because we could go without that route.
It's
I
so
mean,
spooky though.
it's so spooky.
that's
I agree. The accent is spooky.
My British accent's crap.
I don't have one either, so
Yeah, apparently this suddenly turned into a spooky stream.
For the next bit.
by Ubisoft Montpellier with Bucharest.
Shouldn't this be we speaking French then?
See, that's the fun thing. It's
A British French person. What kind of accent would that be?
I'm sure there are British French people. I'm sure.
I
they
don't know.
actually
I'm just saying, like, what would a French accent combined with what would a stereotypical French accent combined with a stereotypical British accent sound like?
I'll just say the only thing that would have been better is if this was developed by like a French Canadian division of Ubisoft. So it'd be a French Canadian division of a French company doing a game that takes place in London,
As streamed by a Canadian.
as streamed by a Canadian. It's circular.
non-stop motion.
It all ties back to Robert Kopp.
Oh,
He's the one that started the plague.
Oh my gosh. You genius. We've completed the cycle.
We've done it. We're on normal.
Yes.
Welcome, Proton John.
Now listen up. One night, kill you. So not messing about with these lighters.
28 days later, the sequel.
Is there a run button, or is it just...
I believe there is.
There it is. It took a second for them to actually tell me what the button was.
Yeah, I haven't played this game forever.
You know, one of the things I generally like about Ubisoft, at least as of recently, has been their user interface design in their games. Mainly just, I mean, like, heck, I even thought their Kinect games had like really cool.
Am I not allowed to climb this ladder? Is this
No,
what
no,
happened?
no, you are. It's just that it's, you know. Oh wait, well, maybe not.
I don't know. Also, we got 1,500 viewers, which is kind of crazy.
Holy shit, guys!
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. It's not
insane.
letting me climb the fucking ladder.
Well, if you stop insulting the ladder, I'll let you climb it.
Well, maybe. I didn't think it was that kind of ladder.
No, you need a football to the ladder, John. You should know this by now.
I guess that's not how I was supposed to go, but now I can't see shit, so I think that's wrong.
Well,
Possibly.
Well, it's very clear that the punk scene has sort of really taken this city by storm, and
Come on, man. Punk's not dead.
punk's not dead, but all these people
No,
are.
he just got CM.
Kill the zombies or be nice to the ladder. Okay, can someone give me an answer? Was I actually supposed to survive that?
Yeah, you are.
What?
You are supposed to survive that. I think that's actually the first time I've seen someone die that early in the
Hey.
opening sequence.
Here's the thing. The first time I had someone describe this game to me, they described something about being stuck on a ladder and never being able to climb it. So I thought that was that.
No.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, Dan, that joke was for you. Only wrestling fans will get that joke.
Okay,
See,
everyone
it
is
doesn't
saying...
matter because now it just drops you off inside of the opening area here, and well, the introduction has been failed, so now you're beginning the game.
Cool, so I don't get to know the rest of the buttons. That's awesome.
Nope. Sucks to be you.
But no, seriously, like, every time I climbed the ladder, there was a zombie there. So does it just mean I cannot climb a ladder if there's a nearby zombie?
Oh shit, I'm trying to remember. I don't know, but also egg.
Shit.
Hey, Black Skull 345.
You ran the wrong way. I think it was right, not left. Okay. Well, that would also explain it.
Perhaps you're running back.
You will
towards
give
zombies
me an
with the wisdom.
egg.
Yeah, what am I activating?
I think there's a thing on the touchscreen within the down below that looks like a backpack where I think the survival kit is, or let's see here. Take your
Well, I just turned on a generator, so now I can actually see what I'm doing. I want to take this monitor with Shakespeare with me. Or Nostradamus, I guess.
yeah. Nostradamus, because his predictions are all perfectly accurate and don't require any sort of creative lateral interpretation at all.
No creative lateral interpretations from you, Skitch? Wow, this
No.
guy's logic has to be sound.
Look, okay, you want me to go back and start doing analysis of Rebecca Black's Friday? Because I'll do it.
I
we
think
been
we,
there
think we went through that bridge as far as we could.
I know we
It was
did.
a fun night, though.
It was
That
a
was
fun
a very interesting night.
That was a very fun night of interpretation. Yes.
I know
Yeah,
that
we've actually-
my friend Dan, he wants to get on a stream again with you and wants to talk more about the deconstruction of wood.
Oh, geez. That article was amazing. And not at all boring for the people listening in talking about it.
Yeah, that must have been like the weirdest thing for people to watch, is just walk in, I'm playing, I think, Lesser the Unlikely, and you're just talking about, like, wood cutting.
Yes. That was bizarre in many, many ways. I'm trying to think of, like, would be just other just bizarre things to be reading while that just sort of goes against what's on screen.
At one point didn't we parallel like Batman to shit? What did we parallel him to?
To Pokemon.
Right, you
Ask
were correct.
Ask
That,
Batman.
yeah.
But there is something else you can use. That backpack is a bug out bag. See, you need it and what's inside.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yes.
Find the previous survivor.
Yes, quite.
Quite.
Indubitably.
How now, brown cow?
And now suddenly I've got what I needed. Okay, but I can go
It's like
this way, but I feel like that's a bad idea.
Basically, everything you will do the first time is a bad idea in this game.
Yeah.
Alright, good to know. I keep that in mind for the future.
Someone says the game's a little soft. Is that true? Is that true, chat?
The game is what?
Someone said that the game is soft. I'm just asking if anyone else, if it's that way for anyone else, because I haven't muted.
I can up the volume if that's the case. But,
game's
like right now there's like no audio going, so...
It also pays off that the mostly correspondence from the person you're talking to, I believe, goes through the gamepad unless you disable
yeah.
it. And have to
No,
go to the
it's
TV.
been on the game. Okay, is there a way to disable that?
I forget whether there is in the options.
Display and sound options. Well, let's turn on subtitles. That'll at least help.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Okay, people are saying it sounds fine, so I'm not sure what it said. Oh,
Alright.
some people were saying it's kind of quiet. Some people were saying it's okay. Not hearing anything else.
Alright, well I put on subtitles, so if there's any more talking, you can at least read it.
And then sound output. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I like the the small dynamic and wide dynamic sort of settings. That's actually an interesting choice from a sound design standpoint. Let's see here.
See you, Miss Nintendo chick.
Oh, people having to go to bed so soon?
Well, I mean,
Oh, it is a weekday.
for some people, they actually do have to sleep at some point.
Oh crap! It's 11:30.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we need an egg, by the way.
You're in Eastern time zone, remember?
Oh, geez.
Yes, I am.
I'm
Silent
in
Nights.
Central, but I'm on break, so...
You will give me an egg.
Silent Night. Sorry.
Thank you, Blade King.
Silent Night is asking if Spider-Man is parallel to Adam in the Bible. No, that's absolutely wrong. It's the Fantastic Four that is a parallel to the Garden of Eden. That should be obvious to everyone involved.
I'm sorry, what?
I disagree with you with that. I think you could parallel Spider-Man with Adam and Eve. I mean, he doesn't. He has his one love. He has Eve. He has Eve, who could possibly be created from his own body, or at least could be like his own imagination.
No. See, the point is this. You look at Mr. Fantastic. His arms and legs stretch really long, like the snake. He is the reason why his whole team got basically radiation stuff by misleading the rest of the party the way he did. Now, I mean, we can just start from there and then kind of extrapolate forward. I mean, you got the other points of symbolism with the rest of the Fantastic Four, and you also have the underlying degree of misogyny, the fact that there's only one woman and 3 men, but I'm not going to delve deeper into that particular topic.
Subway.
All right, well, Ooh, bullets.
Delicious bullets.
Ooh, a telephone. I'm gonna hit that
Yeah,
telephone.
be careful because ammo is super sparse in this game.
Okay, so John, allow me to explain something about the cricket bat you have here.
Uh-huh.
This is your only melee weapon in the game.
Really?
It has a slow attack speed.
I noticed that.
So that is kind of going to be your main sort of leveraging point. If you want to conserve ammunition, you have to use a cricket bat creatively and using a lot of funneling. Though you kind of want to use weapons somewhat regularly, because the more you use weapons, the more powerful you are with those weapons until you die.
Okay, so there's proficiency. Okay.
Yes, there is.
Yes.
And there's also mods you can get for weapons.
Sure.
And also, Dan, both of them like to punch a lot. So yes, CM Punk is indeed Wolverine in disguise. He just has his claws always retracted. The dress is getting weird now with all these parallels.
Is this
Yeah.
another game where shooting my gun will actually attract zombies to me?
I don't know. I've never tried just shooting randomly because it's
Yeah,
usually a good idea.
You usually don't want to do that with your ammunition in general.
You mean you've never played this game like an asshole? Come on.
When I try to play games, I usually try to finish them, not jerk around. At least for the first one, too. Second one, too, yes, I jerk around like crazy. But I've never beaten this game, so.
Remember who you're talking to, and remember how much of an asshole he is when he plays a video game.
Yes, I know. Sorry, Ictus, that doesn't work. We can tell when you're trying too hard.
What?
Let me see here.
He said a guy just typed in he just subscribed, but
Oh wow.
really.
And then we secretly hit the timeout button.
I mean,
I mean,
I mean,
By accident.
nothing. No.
no, you didn't say anything. Oh, that person's completely gone from the chat. I don't know how that happened.
that's a mystery to everyone. Let me think here. So,
No, we're not gonna ban random people from the chat. That's not how it works.
Mr. John,
Hello.
I've had an idea for a little video list I want to do sometime between now and sometime in December, and it's a top 10 list of game soundtracks that are better than the games they appear in.
Oh, Sonic 06.
Oh, that's a good list.
Yeah, I think you were talking about. Were we talking about this at MagFest, or was it like a little bit streaming after MagFest?
It was around that time, and I've sort of been trying to refine the idea a little bit, and I might actually do like 2 different versions of the list. But I mean, there's various games in here I would want to put on that list, like Castlevania 2, Resident Evil Outbreak, Let's see, I got Arcana, Hero. No, not Solstice number 1 on that list because number 1 on the list is already predetermined, and it's Unlimited Saga.
Really, Unlimited Saga.
Oh, Unlimited Saga wins by proxy of 3 key factors. Number 1, Masashi Hamazu is my favorite composer. Fallout. Number 2, that soundtrack is my favorite soundtrack for a game, pretty much, period. And 3, Unlimited Saga is such an incomprehensibly bad game that there's no way you would hear the vast majority of the music for it. Just ridiculously convoluted and crazy. Point of notice, the longest walkthrough on GameFAQs in that, as a text file, is about 200 some kilobytes. The GameFAQs document just explaining the game's mechanical system is over 500 kilobytes as a text file.
That's pretty big.
It's a pretty crazy list up there. Number 2, however, is pretty much everything that Tim and Jeff Fallon worked on. So that includes Solstice, Silver Surfer, Tom and Jerry. What else? What else did they work on?
Puzznick, NES Pictionary.
Yes.
Dang, I had a list at one point, but I can't remember half of them.
Silver Surfer, obviously.
Yeah.
Silver Surfers, yeah. I was going to say, other games that I was going to have in this list. Avant Rising.
Ooh.
I never took you as a
Yeah.
Tallarico fan.
He has, I mean, there's soundtracks that I like from him, and Avant Rising is a really good one by him and his team. I mean, irrespective of what I would think of some of his other works, because I didn't think his Skeleton Warriors one was as good, but I did enjoy the stuff he did with Team for Earthworm Jim and such. So I've met him personally and chatted with him, and he's a nice enough guy. The other one I put on the list just for a personal point was Chance Thomas's work on Quest for Glory 5, Dragonfire. Because that game, if for fans of the Quest for Glory franchise, is just not that good of a game. But the soundtrack was a lot like one of the first 5 live orchestral soundtracks for a game that was made. I think that was the case. Yeah, I think that was the case for that one.
Nice.
One I'd also would put on the list, I think I mentioned this already, was Arcanum. That's one I would put on there.
Is that PC? I recognize
Yes.
the name.
Troika. It's a Troika game. The same guys who did like Vampire the Masquerade and the Temple of Elemental Evil.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that is that game. Arcanum is an interesting one because it's like it was sort of kind of anachronistic as it was a mixture of steampunk and magic and high fantasy stuff.
Just to make sure, this cricket bat doesn't break, right?
No. Your
Invincible cricket bat.
Your cricket bat is invincible, and so basically, like you said, like as you can see here, your ability to sort of mitigate enemies and know how to manage them and keeping your eye on where they're going to be coming from will be important. Over time, your radar becomes better, and you'll be able to detect zombies from a farther distance and be able to better strategize around how to fight them.
Yeah,
So.
and also that you get a weak point scanner later on too, so you can like see where it actually hits some zombies and stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds like there's actually a lot of cool things in this game.
It's
There
cool,
are-
but it's just really hard, and some of the mechanics, it's frustrating to get into.
Sure. Basically, as a launch title, comparing this to Red Steel, which was an honorable mention for the list I'm thinking about. Red Steel, because I like Tom Salta and the music he did for Red Steel, but that game,
I like Red Steel.
Red Steel as a game had problems, and
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah.
especially as a launch title, especially because, if I'm not mistaken, the aiming reticle actually would glitch out if you left the vibration on the controller on. In some
Yeah,
cases.
that's a bit of an odd bug.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is a better game overall than Red Steel. It's a lot more frustrating in some ways, but it doesn't have quite the severity of problems. I would say the most striking problem with it is that there are no other melee weapons other than the cricket bat, and that's a missed opportunity. So
Especially because anything in a game like this can become a melee weapon. You could pick up a radio and have it be a melee weapon.
You know, especially, I think the problem is that this came after Dead Island, and Dead Island had such a strong melee weapon focused design and this is kind of like the opposite.
Yeah, but the problem is you need to use melee weapons, otherwise you burn through ammo so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything that you got in that Dead Island was, and even in the sequel, I think, it just broke immediately, right?
Yeah. Item durability was a huge issue, but that was just part of the design of the game and some of the annoyance of the game. Also, the scaling in Dead Island was kind of annoying, but, you know. What else was I thinking of for this list? Killer 7.
Oh man, yes, that's a good soundtrack.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
fantastic soundtrack.
and I'm a huge fan of the Killer 7 as a game. And the way I'm kind of setting up this list, there's a couple of main qualities. Number one, this has to be a situation of I'd rather listen to the soundtrack than actually play the game. Two, only one entry per composer or game franchise. So basically, the same composers worked on Killer 7 and No More Heroes. Between the two, No More Heroes I had more fun playing, and Killer 7 had a better soundtrack.
Yeah. No More Heroes actually, at least No More Heroes 2 is decent. No More Heroes 1 frustrated me. Though No More Heroes 2 has a better soundtrack in my opinion than No More Heroes 1.
Yeah. I'm such a Killer 7 is one of my favorite GameCube games, but there are flaws in the game's design and the story construction, but the music's so good. So good.
I mean, it's definitely an interesting concept for a list, regardless.
I'm trying to think. Here's something. Would you guys consider Shenmue to be something to go on that type of list?
I feel like people like playing Shenmue too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're saying pick up. What the fuck can I pick up? No, all these things. That's a good thing to pick up.
And Silk Osprey, that's kind of why Killer 7 will be low on my list, like in the above the 5 marker. But it's just like, it's one of those things there. Final Fantasy 13 potentially, but I'll make a joke about not using Final Fantasy 13 because I already have a Masashi Hamauzu soundtrack for this particular list, which is Unlimited Saga, which is a better soundtrack in a worse game.
Yeah, I would say Final Fantasy 13 soundtrack isn't too terribly memorable, if you ask me.
A lot of it's because the implementation in it's just awful. I mean,
Yeah.
the battle theme is way overused in that game in usage. Like, basically, the soundtrack itself stretches at least 2 or 3 CDs. But you wouldn't know that, given the first 20 hours of the game, half of it is just one song.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah. Dan says Mega Man Battle Network 4 should be in there.
I never even I can't bring myself to play any of the Battle Network games, so I wouldn't know.
I'll be honest. I liked Battle Network, at least like the early
Oh, yeah.
parts.
Yeah,
It's a good concept.
Yep.
Sure, absolutely.
This is Battle Network 4 because apparently that one had good music and it was the worst of the series.
I don't think this game is dark enough. Holy shit. Oh, there's a ladder I had problems with. Fair enough.
Death Ladder.
Death Ladder.
So
Yes.
theoretically, wouldn't I see my corpse around here somewhere? No, never mind. This is a different ladder.
Evil Spike. The problem with Doom 2 having an awesome soundtrack is the fact that for the time, Doom 2 was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Doom 2 is still amazing. I fucking love Doom 2.
But yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Especially if you do Voodoo Doom. That's a fucking awesome mod. I love that. I love that so much.
This is the worst freaking flashlight in the world. Holy shit.
Yeah. Let me think what else.
Heart of Darkness.
Heart of Darkness is an interesting one. I'm trying to think of what other ones.
It's got a great
Sonic
soundtrack, but
6
the
on there?
gameplay is just oof.
As Stand of Sonic 6 is on there.
Let's see here. Somebody mentioned Star Ocean: The Second Story. I got a better title from Motoi Sakuraba, which is Beyond the Beyond. But the only reason why I'd even mention that is because the arrangement album that Motoi Sakuraba did for that game is amazing, and that game was just so underwhelming as an early PS1 RPG. Ooh, Lost Odyssey. I don't know. I never felt the Lost Odyssey was bad. I just couldn't bring myself to keep going forward in it.
It felt like it had a
Also-
lot of misdirection.
And actually, I don't like the soundtrack in Lost Odyssey. And I can point out it's for the exact reason why I have issues with the soundtrack for Mario Galaxy. And that is when you hear a really great live orchestral score for one cue, and then the immediately following cue is using obviously sampled instruments. You can just tell. Case in point, anyone who's played Lost Odyssey, compare the battle music to the victory music when you win a fight. And that sort of production drop-off is so infuriating for me. Same thing with Mario Galaxy, where you'd have like the really cool, lush orchestral stuff, and then the little cheap-sounding brass cues on the end. Xana Kitty. Anything by Akira Yamaoka is a good question. I was thinking Silent Hill 4 The Room, potentially. But I really liked Silent Hill 4.
Yes, I was about to say Silent Hill 4 is a great game. I love
I
it.
think Silent Hill 4 has the best soundtrack of the four. That next
Oh, yeah, the
next to
best
two,
soundtrack.
next to
Best,
two.
it has a really, really good theme, and the atmosphere is great. And Yamaoka was the director for the game, so... yeah. So how are you feeling about this section here, John?
Well, there's an effect in front of me, according to my radar.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go hit it with a bat.
Go for it.
Although apparently it's trapped in something by the looks of it. No, it's just lying down, just waiting for me.
Mm.
And it's dead.
Yay!
I've done it! I've saved us from the zombies.
Congratulations.
Hero to
You are
all.
best crickets.
There's a nice balance in this game of being disadvantaged to some degree, but not like worthless like in Silent Hill Shattered Memories.
Right, because you could really not fight back in that game if I remember correctly.
Correct? Yes.
There's a game I should have actually played for spooky month. Because I'm playing through Dead Space 1 blind. So I started that last week, and I'm going to be continuing it later on this week.
Shattered Memory, I would say Shattered Memories, the ending and the twist and such in that game is what made it for me, mostly.
Okay, it's bugging me. I can hear that there's very clearly a zombie nearby, but my radar's not picking up. Actually, wait, maybe I found it. Yeah, I see a bunch of guys just kind of wandering around on the outskirts. I guess I'll just ignore them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other really terrible games that had fantastic soundtracks.
It doesn't have to necessarily be terrible, but yeah, that's kind of the tricky part of it. I actually was going to put Beat Manny on the list myself, but
see, then I was going to ask you about that. Do you count games that have soundtracks that aren't quite soundtracks or like collections of songs you put on a disc?
well,
Could you count Mafia 2 in your list? Because Mafia 2 I thought was a terrible game, but I loved the music.
well, the reason why I would conclude Beat Manny is because most of the music, at least for the Japanese side, is written by people inside Konami strictly for the games by in-house composers, and
That's true.
And the sounds are memorable, and I love them, but I can't stand playing the game itself because, yeah. People have said Cheetah Man, and that doesn't count because the song isn't even that good.
What, you don't like the Cheetah Man theme?
It's not that good. It's the best thing about the game, but that's not saying much.
I guess that's true. What was the deal with that Kickstarter from a while ago about getting a Cheetah Man 3, or what was it?
Jeez.
Like, I remember there was some controversy around it, but I can't remember what actually happened in regards to it. Any of you guys remember?
No, not at all. I do. I remember what you're talking about. I actually can't remember exactly what the details were.
Here's the point where I wish Tom was here, because I feel like he would know. 'Cause I think he was up on it.
Big rigs over
Oh,
the road.
apparently
race.
it was a scam according to a couple people in the chat.
Yeah, I think it was looking like it was gonna be a scam, but like, and I know the AVGN was promoting it at one point, and then he like took back his promotion of it or something like that. It was really weird.
I mean, a lot of Kickstarters look like scams at the start, though, and then end up being crappy.
Yeah.
Gary's Incident, for example.
I was able to help out a friend, a couple Kickstarters